16. Everglades, Florida. Southern Florida's expansive Everglades region is teeming with wildlife, including the endangered Florida panther, the scarlet-streaked roseate spoonbill, and the American alligator. The national park of the same name protects around one-fifth of the total Everglades, which extend over millions of acres in their entirety, and is laced with hiking, biking and kayaking trails, perfect for exploring this tropical wilderness. UNESCO designated it along with Dry Tortugas National Park a biosphere reserve in 1976 and a World Heritage Site in 1979. The park's area has been expanded several times, most recently in 1989. It encompasses 2,357 square miles, 6,105 square kilometers, including most of Florida Bay, and preserves a unique blend of temperate and tropical species in freshwater and marine habitats. 17. Great Sand Dunes National Park and Preserve, Colorado. The undulating surface of Colorado's Great Sand Dunes National Park and Preserve looks otherworldly. This 30 square mile 78 square kilometers dune field, bordered by the Sangre de Cristo Mountains, was formed over millions of years, after a lake dried up and left its sandy sediments behind. Funnels of wind from different directions helped build up the dunes, the tallest of which is a lofty 742 feet 226 m. Sink into the highest mountains of sand in North America. Nestled in a spot where the Sangre de Cristo Mountains buckle inward. The dunes within the borders of Great Sand Dunes National Park have been building and sifting for eons, the result of the San Luis Valley's unique wind patterns. 18. Mendenhall Glacier, Juneau, Alaska. There's something startling about the turquoise, electric blue and emerald hues that are conjured up as the light hits Mendenhall Glacier. Situated around 13 miles 21 kilometers from Juneau in southeastern Alaska, this 12-mile 19 kilometers long, 1.5 mile 2.4 kilometers wide glacier can be viewed from inside its ice caves during a tour. Or, for those who don't enjoy the idea of walking through narrow tunnels below an enormous block of ice, gazing at it from the outside is equally impressive. It's one of North America's most accessible glaciers. Mendenhall, one of the most beautiful and accessible glaciers in North America, is just 13 miles from downtown Juneau and a few minutes from the airport. It's a must-see destination for any Alaska vacation. 20. Great Smoky Mountains, Tennessee, North Carolina. Harboring more biodiversity than any other national park in the U.S., there are more than 19,000 documented species here. But an additional 80,000 to 100,000 are thought to exist. The Great Smokies is pretty special. The UNESCO-recognized park, which encompasses an area of more than 800 square miles 2,072 sq.km on the border between Tennessee and North Carolina, is also home to some of the oldest mountains on Earth. Oh, and it's breathtaking to look at too, its hulking mountains filled with flowers and wildlife. The Great Smoky Mountains National Park straddles the Tennessee and North Carolina border right near Asheville. Come see why this is the most visited national park in the United States with 11+ million visitors each year. 21. Big Sur, California. Big Sur is about as legendary as road trips get. This 90-mile 145-kilometer stretch of road, between Carmel by the Sea and Hearst Castle along California's central coast, takes in one jaw-dropping view after the next. Think rugged coastlines flanked by crashing waves, sheltered coves encircled by seabirds and historic lighthouses dotting the cliffs. It's time to plan your winter getaway to Big Sur. Wildflowers always seem to be blooming, California condors are flying overhead throughout Big Sur. California sea otters are rafting in the kelp beds. These are just a few of the natural wonders that make Big Sur a great place to visit. Come on out and watch the natural magic unfold before your eyes, and create your own. This is the official, complete, and definitive travel guide to all lodging, camping, restaurants, gift shops, art galleries in Big Sur. 22. Sequoia National Park, California. The majestic Sequoia National Park in the southern Sierra Nevada mountain range is a land of superlatives. Its most famous tree, the towering General Sherman, is the largest known tree on Earth by volume at 52,508 cubic feet 1,487 cubic meters, plus it's a towering 275 feet 83 m tall. What's more, it's thought to be some 2,300 to 2,700 years old. As well as being extremely old and extremely large, the park's namesake trees are incredibly beautiful, thanks to their distinctive reddish bark and ruler-straight trunks. Sequoia National Park was established in 1890 to protect groves of big trees, or giant sequoias, which are among the world's largest and oldest living things. 23. French Quarter, New Orleans, Louisiana. The historic buildings of NOLA's French Quarter come to life at night, when they're illuminated in rainbow colors by neon lights. And it's this fusion of old and new that makes the district so enticing. Founded in 1718, its original wooden buildings were built when New Orleans was under French control, but were largely burned in a fire in 1788. The cast-iron balconies, walled courtyards and colorful facades we see today date to the late 18th and 19th centuries, and are a mix of French, Spanish, American, and Creole influences. Like the Creole aristocrats lining the galleries of the historic New Orleans collection, the French Quarter is a timeless portrait, especially come dusk when swallows glide above the fortune-tellers on Jackson Square and Essay. Louis Cathedral's buttercream-colored walls reflect the fiery sunset. 24. Turnip Rock, Port Austin, Michigan. So named for its turnip-like shape, this unusual clump of rock on the shores of Lake Huron is unlike any other. The stack was created by crashing waves gradually eroding the limestone cliffs over thousands of years. It owes its top-heavy shape to more intense erosion at the base. Today, the area surrounding Turnip Rock is privately owned, so the best way to see it from all angles is to kayak around it. For a landmark that's not even publicly accessible by land. Turnip Rock in Port Austin, Michigan, is really popular, just as the folks at the Port Austin Chamber of Commerce, who say that 75% of all incoming phone calls pertain to Turnip Rock. 25. White Mountains, New Hampshire, Maine. A section of the Appalachian Mountains across northern New Hampshire and western Maine, the White Mountains are stunning year-round. But in fall they really come into their own. The lush green leaves of spruces, maples and beeches turn to a painterly array of red, brown and golden hues, typically drawing in visitors who come to see the natural spectacle. With its rugged ranges and majestic slopes, White Mountain National Forest covers about 800,000 acres across New Hampshire and western Maine. Speckled Mountain and Caribou Mountain, which reach elevations of 2,877 and 3,343 feet, respectively, represent 12,000 acres of Maine's portion of the White Mountains. 26. Florida Keys, Florida. In this eye-catching aerial shot, Florida Keys' tiny islets look almost like an intricate jigsaw puzzle, sliced apart by dazzling azure seas. The island chain extends for some 125 miles, 201 kilometers. But the most popular islands of Isla Morada, Key Largo, and Key West draw in most of the visitors. The surrounding ocean, a designated national marine sanctuary, is home to tropical fish, as well as whales, dolphins and manatees. 27. Seattle Skyline, Seattle, Washington. The jewel in the crown of Seattle's skyline is undoubtedly the Space Needle. This 605-foot 184-m skyscraper was built in 1962 for the World's Fair, fitting the theme that year, the Age of Space. Its saucer-shaped upper level houses an impressive observation deck, where visitors can take in 360-degree views across Seattle and beyond. The cityscape, which includes a number of striking mid-century towers, is made even more beguiling by the silhouette of Mount Rainier towering in the background. 28. Hamilton Pool Preserve, Dripping Springs, Texas. With its vibrant emerald waters, fed by a 50-foot 15-m waterfall which cascades off a curved limestone canyon, Hamilton Pool Preserve is one of the most scenic swimming spots in the U.S. Located around 30 miles 48 kilometers west of Austin, the watering hole was formed by the collapse of a dome above an underground river thousands of years ago. Sadly, however, it has recently been closed to swimmers for the foreseeable future, due to the risk of falling rocks. It's still mesmerizing to look at though. 29. Chicago Skyline, Chicago, Illinois. The twinkling lights of downtown Chicago, seen here from across the shores of Lake Michigan, make the windy city look all the more inviting at dusk. Famous high-rises include Willis Tower, one of the world's tallest buildings at a colossal 1,450 feet 442 m, the historic Tribune Tower, a neo-Gothic skyscraper completed in 1925. And the 1,136-foot 346 m Aeon Center, formerly the tallest marble-clad building in the world. 30. Hoh Rainforest, Olympic Peninsula, Washington. Washington's Olympic National Park is home to some of the largest swathes of old-growth forest in the country, and Hoh rainforest is easily the most gorgeous. In this temperate rainforest, moss-covered maples, cedars and fir trees spread their branches like mighty claws, creating a lush green canopy punctured only by atmospheric mists. It's home to a variety of wildlife too, from Roosevelt elk to black bears, bobcats and mountain lions.